Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Savoya with Family First Life Emerald City. I'm the Director of New Agent Onboarding and I'm very excited to welcome you today. And as you're all waiting to get contracted, I wanted to be able to give you some tips and some tricks to be able to get started quickly, to have you start writing business quickly, and to have you most importantly get paid quickly. First off, I just want to say thank you to Brad Allen, who is our esteemed leader for Emerald City Agency, and he's incredible. He was number 6 out of 7,000 agents last year. You guys could not be learning from the best. He's patient, he's kind, he's extremely generous with his information, and so you are definitely in the right spot, and we are super we're happy to have you here. Okay, so you are in contracting right now, and what can you expect? What can you do on this downtime that you're waiting for right now? So let's talk about that. You may be feeling a little overwhelmed, a little excited, a little nervous about this climate with the coronavirus, which Brad is going to address at 5 o'clock. But don't worry, being the leader that he is, we always have a backup plan B for Brad, no doubt. So what you can do is you can start to increase your knowledge. And first off, let me back up and say that you don't need all the carriers to be appointed to start writing business. And that was actually my personal situation. I was only contracted with a couple carriers, AIG, which is guarantee issue, and you definitely want to have them because we're going to run into some people that are very sick, and guaranteed issue is going to be the only way that we can go. And then I was contracted with Mutual Omaha, and I was able to do term products with them, their Living Promise Final Expense program, their Guaranteed Advantage for accidents. So there's a lot. I was able to write several policies with just 2 carriers. So you definitely want to have AIG. Americo is incredible. That's our premier product that is for the super duper healthy. Mutual of Omaha and John Hancock. If you have those, and even if you have just 2, a Mutual Omaha and AIG like I did, you're going to be fine. Having John Hancock and having Americo is definitely something that will be helpful. But the other carriers are going to be more for your IULs and your fixed indexed annuities, like Athene, Global Atlantic, and those companies. So if you have delay in those are going to be more advanced products that you're going to have to take some time to really learn. They're definitely more difficult than your final expense or your mortgage protection, which you're going to be running first off. Okay, so just so you know, again, we want to get you paid quickly. So I was hesitant, I was nervous to get out there with just 2 carriers, and Brad pushed me, and I'm glad that he did because it actually worked out, and I wrote at least a dozen policy just only with those 2 carriers. Okay, so just to know that. Also want to let you know that the culture here at Family First Life, whether it be at our agency at Emerald City or at our regional agency, which is Family First Life Northwest, which hopefully you received an email from Nicole Fleming to join that group, or our corporate headquarters, Family First Life on the East Coast with Sean Mike, our incredible CEO and president, who is the one who started this with Matt Smith. Everybody here is super duper generous with their information, so you are not alone. It feels a little overwhelming to get started, but everybody is very free to give their information, and you're going to see that on YouTube. So one of the things that I'm going to suggest for all of you is to go on YouTube and go and type in Family First Life, and there's some names on there that are amazing. Everybody's amazing who has success on there. You're going to be able to type in Sean Mike, our leader, Matt Smith, who is the #1 producer in the company's history, John Gavin, who is our regional leader, who is amazing, Brad Allen, of course. You got Grady Paulson, Mark Mead, so many others that are on there. Just start to look at what the other top producers are doing, and let it seep into your pores. You'll take a little bit of this, you'll take a little bit of that, and it will start to integrate. But I will also say, backing up just a little bit before we get into the nuts and bolts of some of the things that can do to get you confident and comfortable, this is a job all about mindset. I have had 29 years of professional selling, being out in the field in various capacities, and this is definitely a mindset type of position. There are people who are making tremendous amounts of money, But when I went to the annual convention in Vegas back in February, which I encourage you all to put on your calendars for next year, it's free. You have to pay for your airfare and your hotel and your food, but the actual training itself is amazing. It's so much information coming out of a fire hose. The very first thing that was said that I didn't truly understand, but now I do, is this is a position that's between your ears. This is all about mindset. It's a numbers game. You're going to have people hanging up on you. You're not going to be able to get a hold of some of your leads, on and on and on. And it's very easy to be able to get down in this, but don't get down. As Sean Mike says, it's about attitude and activity. So if you keep your attitude, brush some things off your shoulder, don't sweat it, and just move on, you're going to see that it's not so difficult, and you'll see that your skin will get a little thicker. You'll get more immune to them being able, and I'm not saying that that's with anybody, but those are going to be some of the situations that you have to deal with on the phone, maybe some people in person. But again, this is a numbers game, and if you know that and you're doing things on a daily basis, whether it's reading books like Think and Grow Rich, motivational quotes, talking to top producer, talking to your upline, whatever it is, keep yourself engaged, keep yourself motivated, and keep yourself plugged in, okay? Because there's no shortage of information, there's no shortage of research or resources, in this. And so the information is plentiful, people are super duper generous, but again, it's keeping yourself straight, and whatever that is, and as you maybe even learn more about yourself in that process, that's definitely going to be very important. And if you have a bad day one day, okay, the next day is a new day, so we move on, right? So we don't stay steeped in that, and we keep moving on, and we just know, again, for the millionth time, it's a numbers game. Okay, you've probably received an email right now from the most amazing and super duper helpful woman I mentioned already, Nicole Fleming. So she wears many different hats. She's at our regional office, and she should have sent you some welcome emails inviting you to the FFL website to open up your portal and open up your account, which on that site is going to be a lot of information on training, your CRM, where you're going to keep your business logged and tracked. You can buy some leads on that site too, some of the older cherry pick leads, which are fantastic for budget. And she's also going to be your resource on how to buy leads. And so she is the new agent liaison, but she's also does lead strategy. So you're going to be doing lead strategy for yourself, perhaps on a weekly basis. You're going to buy some fresh leads, you're going to buy some old leads, you're going to see what works with you. You're going to do the different vendors, and those are also, she's going to help you work with your budget and get ready to buy leads. Once your contracts are in and you're ready to start business, that's going to be your next step, is buying some leads. You also want to you want to go on the FFL Northwest Facebook page that she should have invited you to, and there you'll find the fflmentor.com link on that page, which you don't need the link, you can go directly. That's also going to be another source of training, amazing training. So you have the fflmentor.com, you have the familyfirstlife.com. Those are going to have trainings. You're going to want to set up accounts on the familyfirstlife.com. You don't need one on the mentor site. Join the Facebook group page. I also like and came across fflamerica.com. There are some amazing resources on there. There's videos, there's descriptions about the lead sources, phone scripts, all different types of stuff. So check out that site. It's been one of my favorites. In fact, some of the information that I printed off and sent to you guys yesterday and emailed, I actually got from that site. So let's talk about hardware. You're going to need, of course, your laptop or a tablet. I use a tablet, but you can use a laptop. You can use and or both. You definitely want to make sure that your hotspot is working in your phone, and you definitely want to test that out, because you don't want to be vulnerable and have to use the client's internet, because most of them don't even remember their password, and you just don't want to have to be dependent on that. So make sure that your hotspot is working. Make sure it's working right before you go into the home, or in situations where we're maybe going to be doing this remotely, you won't have to do that, but in the home, make sure that your hotspot is going to be working, because we are still going to be taking some, I'm sure, home appointments as well as working a little bit remotely as this whole thing with the virus moves through. Okay. YouTube. I had mentioned YouTube, so please go there. Again, lots of training, phone scripts, phone objections, running appointments, how to do certain appointments, final expense, mortgage protection in the home. Please, there is such a plethora of information in there. Okay, so as you're training, as you're making sure your hardware's in place, I also have a binder with some helpful information in there about the carriers, the cheat sheets that I emailed you, those are in there. I also have a copy of my state insurance license in there in case somebody wants to see it. That's important to have in there. You can print that off if you don't already have a copy from your state insurance website. You can go on there and print that off. It's a good idea. Put it in a little plastic protector, have it in a binder. And now you're waiting for your appointments. So your appointments are going to start to come in, and what can you expect from that? You're going to expect a welcome email from every single one of the carriers. And it's going to be, welcome so-and-so, we're excited to have you be part of our team, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to have two pieces of information on there that are going to be very important to you that you need to keep track of. One is your writing code. Very important to keep organized with all your writing codes, okay? All the carrier phone numbers, carrier underwriting, all that, put that on a sheet so you have it in one place. Put those phone numbers in your phone so you have them readily available. So every time that you call a carrier and every time that you write a piece of business, you need to know your producer code. Producer code, writing code, they're the same thing, okay? The other thing is there's going to be an invitation on their website to join their agent portal. So you want to go on and you want to get on, start an account, it's free, and go on and set this up and make sure that in your laptop or your tablet that you have all the carriers under your favorites or bookmarked, so that when you're in a home or even talking to a client on the phone, you have all the information right there. You don't need to be fumbling around. You can pull up Americo's right there. You can pull up Mutual of Omaha. Make sure you get those in place. It will make your life easy, especially in the beginning when you're going to be a little bit nervous with the client, whether it's on the phone or in person. You want to be able to have the mechanics, that logistic part of it, so it's organized for you and you feel confident you can go in there and run a quote. So again, fiddle around on the portals, see how to run a quote, look at their apps. Some of them use iGo, some of them have their own dedicated apps. Just look to see and get familiar with the process. So of course, you're not going to submit any business, but you're going to look and see what kind of questions they ask, and again, so that you're comfortable. Also, when you're in the home, don't worry. You're going to hear a lot as you're looking at videos that this business is 80% about being on the phone. And I can say that at the very beginning, I thought that was crazy. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know the products. How am I going to get in the home? How am I going to know something? Here's the beautiful thing about that. First off, as all the leaders in this company, they're always right, and that's why they're in the position that they are, it's very true. You got to really practice the phone. You have to know how to be comfortable on the phone, because if you're not going to be comfortable on the phone and be effective in setting dials, you're not even going to be in front of the people to be able to do any type of presentation in the first place. So I'm really going to highly suggest, please look at as much information as you can on the phone. And as you're in the appointments, whether it's on the phone or again in the person's home, if you get stuck, that's what your upline is for. Your upline is there for you to call and to help guide you through the process. What if you can't get a hold of your upline? Because that sometimes happens. Your upline could be writing business for themselves. Team Chat. That's an app that you guys want to put on your phones, is Team Chat. And again, back to the culture and the generosity and sharing the information. That is a place that you can go to, ask a quick question, and some people are always on that thing. You can get the answer right away if you don't know what product to recommend based on maybe a health condition, certain medications, or whatnot, body mass index, you never know. So go ahead and know that you're going to be okay on that. So upline, maybe have your upline's upline, and then also be able to have Team Chat. So when you're in their home, you're going to be okay. You're going to be guided in knowing what to do. What else do we have? You're going to add the portals to your favorites. Also, carrier underwriting. I think that this is important, and I have all the carrier underwriting downloaded on my tablet because I also want to know and be self-sufficient when I can. I can't always bug somebody. I also want my process to go smooth, and I also encourage you guys to talk to underwriting at these carriers if you have any questions. They're going to be the ultimate ones to, if it's not an instant decision type of product, they're going to be the ones that where that application is going to go to. And you can always call them before you submit an app and ask them, my client has this, that, or the other. Will you guys take this? And they will tell you, yes, we will. Yes, we will, but we're going to grade it, or no, we won't. And then you don't have to waste anybody's time. So don't be afraid. I have underwriting guidelines that are downloaded. I take that maybe to a little bit of an extreme, but it's helpful for me, and I can just take a quick peek if I know some information about the client right away. Again, the phone videos, all that, make sure that you guys do that. Super duper helpful. And let's look at, hang on, your license. Okay, so the phone schedule. So there's some weekly phone calls that are very, very helpful. You're going to see the weekly phone call schedule on the familyfirstlife.com website that you're going to start yourself an account, which is where your CRM is going to be. There's a list there all the way towards the bottom of weekly calls. So Mondays and Thursdays we dial. And there's also something really cool called live dials. And so while you're dialing, you also can have on the background that people will sign up to do live dials, which I highly encourage you to do that. It's a great way to learn. And they're actually dialing and setting appointments, and then one of their uplines or mentors, whoever's teaching that, will then, after in between calls, they will give them some pointers and some tips. So that's Mondays and Thursdays. You'll get an invite from Nicole Fleming on how to join that group with Zoom. Tuesdays is John Gavin at 8 o'clock. He does an incredible weekly call on whatever's pertinent, whatever he feels like sharing. Thursday and Friday mornings, you have Sean Ruggiero on Thursday mornings, and you have Sean Mike on Friday mornings, and that's going to be more of your advanced stuff like your IULs and your fixed indexed annuities. So the bottom line with everything is plug in. If you can't make all the calls, it's okay. Nobody's going to, this is your own business, but the resources are here so you are successful and that you can plug in. You always pick up something, even as these very established producers will say they've been writing business for years, millions of dollars. There's always something that we can learn. So we're always trying to better ourselves. So make sure that you're plugging in whenever you can. And we do dials on Mondays and Thursdays, and then we run appointments on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Friday, and Saturdays. So that's a full-time schedule, of course. If you're part-time, pick out, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or however you work it out. It doesn't mean that you can't call on your run days. I mean, this is all about flexibility and making it work and making the numbers work. But again, it's a numbers game. So you want to be dialing as much as you can, because they say if you're dialing and then you're setting eight appointments, people are going to no-show, people are going to cancel. You're only going to have 4 appointments, and then really you're only going to be closing 2. So it's the 4-2-1 rule. 4 appointments, 4 sets, 2 actual appointments, and 1 actual application written. So you see, again, it's a numbers game. So you want to make sure that your activity is up, and of course make sure your attitude is up, because that is what's going to keep you going day to day. Okay, I know that you guys are getting a lot of information. You're getting emails, you're waiting for your contracting, you got me bugging you with sending you stuff, you're talking to Brad, hopefully, because he's very available. There's a lot. So just know that practice, it's seeping in your pores. Talk to people. You're not alone. We're here to help you every step of the way. Now, before I go, I want to put in perspective for you a couple things. One is, people here at Family First Life are making ridiculous amounts of money. And what does that mean? Okay, to make $20,000 a month here, people think that that's not a lot, seriously. And the first milestone of the company is called Hall of Fame Producer, which you get a red jacket and you produce $400,000 of issue paid business a year, okay? And then after that, you start to move into the vice president levels and things of that nature. Now let me break it down for you. Last year, the top agent, writing on his own pen without any contribution from his team, just on his own pen, issue paid $785,000. That's right, $785,000. Brad Allen last year did about $530,000. So between Brad at number 6 and the gentleman at number 1 at $785,000, people were making $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 in that. No joke, okay? Now, if you decide to build a team, which you definitely should start to build a team, and we'll talk more about that later, and don't think that it's too soon to start building a team. It's never too soon to start building a team, please, and we can talk about that, and definitely something you want to do. The top agencies in this company are producing $1 million to $5 million a month issue paid business each month. Yes, you heard that right, $1 million to $5 million. Now the tops of those agencies aren't, that's not all them because that's what their team is producing, but they're getting a very nice chunk of that, okay, definitely. So let me put this in perspective. Let's take a neurosurgeon, okay, and I did the research yesterday on a neurosurgeon. A neurosurgeon is the top highest paid position in the medical field, and a neurosurgeon is their average annual median salary is $602,000 a year. Okay, 602. Now Brad, in his second year, made $530 plus last year. Okay, the general top writing producer made $785. Now let's even take that down further. To be a neurosurgeon, it takes 17 to 18 years to become one. The cost to become a neurosurgeon is right now over $2 million. You can look all this up. Now, here you have an opportunity to make an amazing amount of money, really not a lot of investment on your time, leads and your license and whatnot. And here you have the opportunity to make at least $500,000 plus without student loans, without student debt, without an amazing amount of school, or you don't have to do any of that. You just have to follow direction. You have to have a great attitude. You have to have a lot of activity, and you have to be coachable. And in your first year, we have people here at Family First Life who are in that Hall of Fame milestone with the red jacket, $400,000 issue paid. You know, people are at the commissions that we're at. That's fantastic for somebody's first year in the business without higher education. You can have a GED and you can still make $500,000 to $1 million. What other career can you do that in? So we, again, here at Family First Life Emerald City, we are thrilled to have you. Welcome aboard. Do not ever hesitate to reach out to myself, to Brad Allen, to Benjamin Katz. We're all here for you. Your uplines are here for you. The resources are for you. Keep straight right here and stay plugged in. Take good care, everybody. Stay safe out there.